bowl we're going to demonstrate in this video appears in the December issue of Architectural Digest, and the bowl is 8-wood Santa Fe. The process begins by picking the wood that's going to be used in the bowl, and in the case of this bowl it's purpleheart, yellowheart, padauk, canary, wenge, and holly. The piece you see being cut right there is wenge. It's cut to a 15-degree angle, and that's refined on this sander to bring it into tolerance. That sander is never moved. It stays at that 15 degrees. That ensures that we get a good tight fit in the ring. That piece is then cut into the individual segments that'll be used in the ring that forms the bowl. It takes 5 rings to make this particular bowl, and there's of course 12 of these segments in each ring, 2 pieces of each wood. This particular design is the 8-wood Santa Fe. It has 8 different woods in it, and you'll see me putting them in the correct order, which is very, very important. Every ring has to be exact, same sequence. Here I'm gluing them up, putting them together, and as I do it I'm repeating to myself purpleheart, yellowheart, padauk, canary, wenge, and holly. I keep saying that over and over to be sure I've got this correct, because I've done it and have messed up before. Here I'm popping a rubber band around this ring, which will secure it until it dries. It takes about 2 hours for it to really dry enough to continue. These have been drying for 2 hours at least, and I'm checking to be sure that I have the sequence right, and this is correct. Then each segment has to be sanded. This is a drum sander, and they're put through the drum sander to do 2 things. One is to smooth them, but secondly, they're run on both sides, and that makes them absolutely parallel, so that when the bowl is finished, each ring is sitting in the absolute horizon, that they're absolutely straight, so that when you look at the bowl, they're not anti-goggling, as we say in the South. After those bowls are sanded, I then start on the bottom, and the bottom is composed of 6 pieces of wood, and here I'm assuring that we get a good straight edge to work from. And here I'm cutting that piece into 6 triangles, all 30 degrees, so that these 6 pieces will form a hexagon from which we'll cut the circle that forms the bottom. Those pieces are then glued into 2 sections of 3 each. Again, I put a rubber band around them to hold them on. This is a much larger rubber band than I used on the segments. And that'll hold these together until they dry. When they're dried, then we take them and sand them a good straight edge on each half, so that we end up with an absolute airtight bottom. And those 2 pieces, after they're sanded, are glued together. And again, they have to dry for at least 2 hours before we can continue. After they're dry, they're sanded in the same manner that the segments were sanded, to make the bottom parallel on both sides and flat. Then cut into a circle on a fixture on the bandsaw,